What is the difference between the divine and the Divine Mother? And what is the relationship between them? So, in the Hindu tradition, in the spiritual tradition here, we don't divide the divine in terms of presence. We tend to describe the divine based on either different actions or simply different reflections. So, the main descriptions are what we call the Trinity of the Divine. Brahma, who creates, Vishnu, who sustains, and Shiva, who dissolves. Sometimes we say destroys, but it's not destroys with that malicious, negative connotation so much as destruction that makes room for new birth. And so that Trinity is actually a cycle. We get creation, we get sustenance, and then we get dissolution that makes room, that creates space for new birth. All of the rest is simply seen as different reflections of, different manifestations of the same God. And that's really the core teaching, is there is one God. In fact, if you go even deeper, the teaching is there is nothing but God. It's not there is one God separate from us sitting somewhere with lots of manifestations, like one sun, lots of reflections in water. But actually there is nothing but God. And therefore everything that you see is simply an embodiment of the divine. Like every wave is an embodiment of the ocean. That's the deepest, corest truth. Nothing but God. Everything is just an embodiment of, a manifestation of that divine. When we talk about the divine and the Divine Mother, again, the divine is all, infinite, the creator, the sustainer, the dissolver, all of them without borders, without boundaries, the energy of those three actions. The divine is also that which is created, that which is sustained, that which is dissolved or destroyed. It's not just the energy of creation. It's the creation itself. Not just the energy of sustenance, but that which is being sustained itself. The mother is typically the one, when we think of the mother, who creates, right? I mean, life comes out of a mother's womb. Yes, the father is important. Without the father, you don't get creation. But nonetheless, we think of mothers as the womb of creation. The mother gives birth. The mother tends to be the one who sustains. The mother suckles the child, feeds the child, cares for the child. Again, the fathers do as well. This is just stereotypical, but father doesn't suckle, mother suckles. So a lot of times we speak about the divine as the Divine Mother, when we're talking about it just as the fullness of the energy. So for a moment, forget the different forms, forget the different names, think just of that infinite experience. Well, in many ways, it's the energy of the mother. that which creates, that which sustains. But also, when we talk about reflections of, manifestations of, embodiments of, and we talk about Brahma and Vishnu and Shiva, well, we also have very specific embodiments of the divine in the feminine form. Each of whom could be referred to as the Divine Mother, the goddess. Whether we say Mahalakshmi, whether we say Mahasaraswati, whether we say Ma Durga, Kali Ma, different names, different energies, but they're all the Divine Mother. So there really is no distinction. It's just different ways of describing that same energy. So on the most basic and divided level, the relationship between them, when we talk about how our male manifestations of the divine always have a female counterpart. So the energy of creation, the energy of sustenance, the energy of dissolution, well, there's always the goddess. Because what the goddess brings is Shakti, energy, literally. The word, in the Hindi language we have words, in Sanskrit language, words are either masculine or feminine, unlike English, but the actual noun is masculine or feminine, like French or like Spanish. The term for that creative energy, Shakti, is feminine. So is the term for that which is created, Prakriti, the nature, Srishti, the creation. So interestingly, the divine feminine is both the power that creates as well as that which is created. They're all feminine. But again, that's on the divided level, the level that says Shiv Parvati. Lakshmi Narayan. That's on the level of form, the level of division. When we go deeper, as we said, it's all God. There is no distinction. And so when you go to that level, then whether you're worshiping the divine with the name of Krishna or Ram or Shiva or Vishnu or Durga or Lakshmi or Saraswati, or it doesn't matter, or just the mother goddess, it doesn't matter, because the energy is masculine and feminine. It's everything. It's all combined. Somebody once asked me, I was doing an interview for a book that was being written about the feminine spiritual leaders and the feminine energy, and somebody was asking me about Puja Swamiji, my guru, and about him as a male guru. And I said, well, he's more genderless. And then I stopped and I said, actually, he's not. He's actually genderful. Meaning, it's not neither, but it's actually both. That even in a human body, he actually embodies both of those energies. And so at the highest and the deepest level, the divine is both and all and more and everything, because it's all divine. And so the relationship is really just like, looking at the ocean from one cliff versus looking at the ocean from another cliff versus looking at the ocean from the beach. You're looking at the same thing. It's the same. Just different viewpoints, different names. But it's all one.